So, what's in the box today? I wonder. Here we go. I always like this bit. I never know, you see. Woo! Well, I never. It's you. Doug. Ho-ho! Excellent. Well, this is Doug, and this is going to be his story today, I think. We'll just put you down here gently. See you later, Doug. Good. Have you got your biscuits ready? Have you got your tea ready? Because we'll now make a start to the story. Today's story is called Ugg, Bug, and Doug. Good. So, once upon a time, long, long ago, longer ago than all the once upon a times of all the stories you've ever heard or ever read, that long ago, there was a cave. And inside that cave were three brothers, Ugg, Bug, and Doug. Ugg was the eldest and the strongest and the bravest. He carried around a massive club over his shoulder. And every single day he would say, "Oh!" which was his way of saying, "Look how strong I am. Look how clever I am. Look how brave I am." His brother, Bug, was strong and a very good hunter as well. But he wasn't quite as strong as his brother Ugg. But he was also a fast runner, and he would carry a spear. And every single day he would say, "Ha!" with his spear, which was his way of saying, "Look at me, I'm Bug. Look how strong I am." And as I said, Ugg and Bug were very, very good hunters. And they used to tease their little brother Doug. You see, Doug wasn't strong, Doug wasn't tall, Doug wasn't that brave, and he wasn't any good at hunting. They said that Doug spent too much time thinking and too much time painting. Oh, how Doug loved to paint. He would mix up his own paints by grinding up rocks or sand or dirt. He would take leaves and roots and berries and mash them up. He would mix charcoal with the fat that dripped off the meat, and he would make his own pastels and paints and pastes, and he would paint them on the wall with sticks or with feathers or with his own hands. Oh, how he loved to paint. But this didn't please his two brothers, Ugg and Bug, and nor did it please his parents, Oompa and Loompa. And if they could have done, Oompa and Loompa would probably have said, "Oh, what are we going to do about our Doug? We can't go on like this. He needs a good career. I mean, look at his brothers. They're good at hunting, they're good at running, they're strong, they're brave, but look at Doug. All he does is paint my nice clean walls. What are we going to do with Doug? Oh, I wish he would take a good job like hunting or gathering or hunting." But actually, Oompa and Loompa couldn't say this because language hadn't been invented properly. So instead, all they could say was, "Ugg, good. Bug, good boy. Strong, brave. Doug, silly. Painty, 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 painty." Everyone was getting a bit fed up with Doug. Now, you've probably realised by now that Ugg, Bug and Doug and their parents, Oompa and Loompa, were cave people. Yeah, they all lived in a cave. They were part of a clan, and this clan was called the Oogadugga, Oogadugga, Oogadugga clan. And, well, they'd been in this cave for a very, very long time. And it wasn't just Oompa, Loompa, Ug, Bug and Dug that lived in this cave. No, there was also the uncle and the auntie, Unky and Punky, or Granny and Grandad, Ganky and Manky, and also their next door neighbour who had recently had to vacate his premises because of a very angry cave bear. He was called Lanky, by the way. He was very tall and kept bumping his head on stalactites. Well, as I said, they lived in a cave, and the cave was sort of cavernous, cave-like, big, hollow, echoey, damp and cold. And there were lots of little chambers kind of coming off the main part of the cave. Little chambers which Doug actually liked to explore, and that's where he would take his paints and do some of his best work. But the cave was cold, and it would be freezing if it weren't for the fact that this cave actually had central heating. Well, it had a fire in the middle of the cave entrance. Now here, this is going to be hard to explain to you, but in these sorts of days, the days when this story took place, there were lots of different types of people. Yeah, I don't mean sort of angry people or happy people. I mean different types of humans. Yeah, some were short, some were tall, some were hairy, and some were scary, and some still lived in trees, and, well, some had no knees. And these people, they didn't really communicate much with each other. The different clans kept themselves to themselves. They were very good at, at social distancing, even in those days. Yeah. And if they did meet each other, it would probably end up in a fight, or they'd probably run away from each other. So ideas and technology didn't really get around that quickly. It took a very long time for ideas to start flowing around. So, some people in those days had fire, and some didn't have fire. Those that did have fire basically found that life was so much more comfortable than those that didn't have fire. If they had fire, they might have roast rabbit to eat, or hot beetroot, or baked fish. But if you didn't have a fire, you'd probably be living off uncooked worms, or raw bark, or snails in their shell. Yuck. Now, the Oogadugga clan, they were sort of in between these sorts of people. They had fire, but they didn't know how to make it. You see, many years ago, before Doug was born actually, Oompa had been walking along, minding his own business, and he came across a wildfire. That's where a fire's just started, just like that. No one could really find out the reason why, but there was a burning forest, and Oompa was very brave, and he ran into the forest and he grabbed a burning branch and took it back to their cave. So they had fire, and they treated this fire as if it was a pet. They called it Figgy, and they kept feeding it. Hey, Figgy, here's a little twiggy for Figgy. Oh, Figgy's hungry. Figgy's so hungry. Feed it. Give it dry leaves, give it some bark. Oh, lovely Figgy. Oh, Figgy bit me. Bad Figgy. Well, so they had central heating. Now, everyone took it in turns to look after and to feed Figgy. It was the job of everyone. Ug, Bug, Dug, Oompa, Loompa, Unky, Punky, Ganky, Manky and Lanky. All 10 of them would take it in turns every day of the week. Weeks in those days had 10 days. And they looked after the fire and they would keep it burning, and that meant one person each night had to stay awake and keep feeding Figgy the fire. Well, Doug loved doing this because when everyone else was asleep, even though they snored really loudly, and Ganky had a particularly weird sort of snore, even though they snored loudly, Doug had peace. No one was picking on him for painting. And Doug would stare into the flames and he would think up ideas. He would think up ideas for his paintings and he would think up ideas for his stories. Although he didn't know they were called stories at the time because stories hadn't been invented. So he had lots and lots of ideas and he had quite a big imagination. Now one night, it was Doug's turn to look after Figgy. He waited for everyone to be asleep. And he watched Figgy. He was desperate to get back to one of his paintings that he was doing in one of the back chambers. Back chambers, by the way, not bat chambers. He's not Batman. So he waited for all the snores, all 9 of them. Yep, that's you. Yep, you. Yep, you. Yep, you. You're all asleep. Perfect. He waited for them to fall asleep, and then he piled up lots of wood on Figgy, so it would keep burning for a very long time, and he snuck off into one of the back chambers to carry on with his painting. He was really excited about this painting. This painting he was doing, it was a painting of a woolly mammoth racing against a woolly rhino, and he couldn't wait to finish it. Anyway, he took a burning branch from the fire so he had enough light to see by, and he carried it into this back room, and he started painting. La-di-da-di-da-da-da, la-di-da-di-da-da-da. He brought his favourite goblet with him to drink. And he carried on painting. La-di-da-di-da-da-da. Well, he'd almost finished. He stood back to take a good look at it, to get it into perspective, and he tripped over a rock that he hadn't seen. Oh, bother, he said as he dropped the burning branch. Well, he fumbled his way back through the chamber into the main space of the cave. He was going to get some more fire so he could just finish off the picture, but oh no! When he got in there, Figgy wasn't there. Figgy had gone out. Figgy had died. A gust of wind must have come into the cave while he was in the back chamber and it must have blown Figgy out. What was he going to do? No more fire. Very quickly, the cave got very, very, very cold. And people started shivering in their sleep. And one by one, they woke up. "Oh no," said Oompa. "Oh no," said Loompa. "What you done, Doug? Silly boy, Figgy dead. Oh no, poor Figgy. What we gonna do?" Everyone looked at Doug with daggers in their eyes. "Oh, Doug, you silly boy, Figgy dead." "Don't worry, Oompa," said Ugg. "Don't worry, me Ugg, me brave, me got club, me go, ooh, me find fire tomorrow." "Oh, good boy," said Oompa. "Oh, good boy," said Loompa. "Oh, you clever boy." So all night long, they all huddled together. Oh, it was beginning to get really cold. Oh, it was more like... And in the morning, Ugg went off on his journey to find fire. Well, he'd only walked for a couple of hours when he came across a woolly rhinoceros. A woolly rhino. Now, even though woolly rhinos can be a little bit scary and a little bit dangerous, he approached it calmly because he was strong, he was brave, he was a good hunter. "Hey, you! Hairy horn guy! Me have favour to ask." "What do you want?" said the woolly rhino. Now, I better just point out to you that in those days, animals could speak, yeah. And funnily enough, their language was far more advanced than a lot of humans. "What was it you want from me?" said the woolly rhino. "Well, hairy horn guy, my name Ugg, me strong, me brave, yeah, very, very brave, me got club. Me want to know where to find fire. Figgy dead, We need fire. Can you help? Well, said the woolly rhino, just a moment ago, my horn started to itch. And when my horn begins to itch, well, it means there's a storm on its way. And if there's a storm, there'll be thunder, and there'll probably be lightning. And if you're lucky, some lightning might hit the tree and set its branches on fire. Yeah, then you'll get your fire. Oh, thank you, said Ugg. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing. Please stop hunting us, because we're nearly extinct. Oh, all right, said Ugg, and Ugg went on his way. Well, he climbed up the nearest tree he could find, which was very, very tall. He did know that the tall tree was more likely to catch the lightning than a short tree. He climbed up the tree, and he waited and waited and waited. And after a little while, he heard a rumble. Rumble, 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 apple crumble, and it was his tummy. He was so hungry. He needed some food, so he waited a bit longer. And then, rumble, 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 it really was thunder this time. The thunder rolled over the sky, pushing the clouds out the way, and it began to lightning as well. Well, he was brave, he was strong. He held up his club high up in the air like this, and some lightning hit it. It jolted him, but he held onto it tightly. He held onto the tree, and the club was now burning bright with fire. He carefully climbed down the tree, holding onto this burning club, and he went all the way back to the Oogadugga tribe. Well, he was about 50 foot away, which is about the distance you are currently from your fridge and back again, and to the television and back again, and to the dishwasher and back again. Probably that's about 50 foot, I should say. He was about 50 foot away from the cave when he saw Oompa and Loompa, and they were waving. Oh, he's so clever, he's so good. I've got fire, clever boy. Oh, so proud, so proud, so proud. And he was feeling pretty pleased with himself. And he didn't notice that root there on the floor. And he tripped over the root. He dropped his burning club, and it went into the swamp. Oh no, said Oompa. Oh no, said Loompa. Silly boy, so clumsy, clumsy, clumsy. Ugh, oh, what we gonna do? Oh, hashtag worst day ever. Well, Bug came along. Oompa, Loompa, Bug. Ah, me strong, me brave, me go find fire. Me help. Okay, said Oompa. Okay, said Loompa. And off went Bug to find fire, leaving Oompa, Loompa, and the other brothers, and the uncle and the aunt, Unky and Punky, I should remember their names by now, Ganky and Panky and Lanky, leaving them to eat uncooked earthworms and raw bark and snails in their shell. Ugh. They desperately missed their roast rabbit, their hot beetroot and their baked fish. Oh, this is terrible, they complained. Anyway, Bug had walked for a couple of hours when he came across a huge elk. A giant red elk. Now, giant red elks, if you've ever seen a picture of them, they've got these massive antlers, humongous antlers. Their antlers could probably fill up your entire house. And for those of you who like their prehistoric animals, I hope you're watching James Gerbil Jockey. They're actually called the Megaloceros. The Megaloceros. What a fantastic word. The Megaloceros. And I have to say, if I was actually a fan of Gilbert and Sullivan right now, I'd probably need to say, wouldn't it be preposterous to be a Megaloceros with antlers so enormous he has to be punctilious? That means careful. But I'm not a Gilbert and Sullivan fan, so I won't put that in the story. Anyway, Bug carefully approached the Megaloceros and said, "Hey, you massive cactus head,
massive cactus head.
Excuse me, said the Megalosaurus. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you, massive cactus head. Me got problem. Me bug. Oh, me strong, me brave. But me need fire. Figgy dead. Figgy no more. Need fire. Where I find fire? Can you help? Big, massive cactus head.
Well, do you know, just a moment ago, my antlers began to twitch, you know. They began to twitch, and when my antlers begin to twitch, it means that a volcano is about to erupt. A volcano might erupt very, very quickly. See that hill over there? That's really a volcano. And when it erupts, with a bit of luck, there'll be lots of red-hot lava flowing down, and then you'll get your fire, just like that.
Oh, thank you, said Bug. Very kind of you, thank you.
Oh, and one little thing, if I may. Can you please stop hunting us? We're nearly extinct.
Oh, okay,
said Bug, and he went off to climb up the hill. When he got to the top, he heard a rumbling, rumble, 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 apple crumble, and it was his tummy. He was so hungry, he needed some food. But he waited and waited and waited some more, and the rumbling came back, and this time it was the ground. And then the volcano erupted. Red-hot lava flowed down the hill, and he was so fast, was Bug. He was so fast, he ran to the flaming lava, dipped in his spear. It caught fire instantly, and he ran back all the way to the Oogadugga clan. Well, he was about 40 foot away, which is the distance from you to the window, back to the door, back to the window, back to the garden, back to the door. That was about 40 foot. It was about that far away, and he could see Oompa and Loompa, and they were waving. Oh, clever boy, he got fire. Bug so clever, Bug so strong, Bug so brave. He got fire. Oh, so proud. Oh, good boy, Bug. And Bug was feeling so pleased with himself, he didn't spot the rabbit hole down there. And he caught his foot in the rabbit hole, he twisted his ankle, he dropped his burning spear, and out it went in the swamp at his feet. Oh no, so clumsy. Oh, silly Bug. Oh, what we gonna do? Oh, worst day ever. Silly Bug. Everyone was in a bad mood now. Everyone was in a bad mood. And then Doug spoke up. Father, Mother, his language was so far ahead of his two brothers. I think it's now my turn to try and find fire. No, Doug, no, they all said. You silly boy, you can't do anything right. You just painty. No, you no good at anything. Oh, please, Daddy. Please, Mummy. And eventually Oompa and Loompa let him go and find fire. Well, he'd walked for a couple of hours when he came across a very friendly woolly mammoth. Excuse me, Taskmaster, said Doug.
What can I do for you? Said the woolly mammoth.
Well, actually, I'm looking for fire. I rather foolishly let Figgy the fire go out, and I really want to find some fire. Do you know of any fire around here? Can you help me?
Well, said the woolly mammoth, look over there.
And he pointed with his trunk at another mountain.
You see that cave there in the middle of the mountain?
Doug looked. Yes, I see the cave.
Well, said the woolly mammoth, every single night when it is dark, the cave lights up like an orange in the sky. It's quite amazing. I think whoever lives in that cave has fire.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Oh, great Taskmaster, thank you. Please allow me to have a drink of water. You're very, very kind,
Well, that's okay,
said the woolly mammoth.
but can you please stop hunting us? We're almost extinct.
Certainly, said Doug. Well, Doug went on his way and he started to climb up the mountain. And it was almost evening when he reached the cave. And inside the cave, you won't believe it, but there was a little old lady. Oh, hello. Oh, you must be Doug. Are you Doug? My name's Verity Google. Yes, hello out there. Oh, thanks again. This is my favourite part of the story. You've come looking for fire, haven't you, Doug? Have you come looking for fire? Well, Doug was absolutely amazed. Not only could this woman speak his language, she could also read his mind. Yes, said Doug. I've been really foolish. I accidentally let Figgy the fire go out and, I've come looking for fire. And the nice taskmaster down there, the woolly mammoth, he said that, well, you might have some fire. And I was wondering if I could buy some of you, even though currency hasn't been invented yet. Or maybe I could just have some, just a little bit, a tiny bit of fire. Oh, my dear. I don't need to give you any fire, but I can show you how to make fire. Make fire, said Doug, astounded. Make fire? You can't make fire, can you? I thought it just happened. Oh, no, all you need is a... Hold on a minute, bear with me. Not a cave bear, just a... Bear with me. Oh, all you need is a lump of wood like this. And all you need is a good stick like this. And you put the stick on the wood and you start to rub. And you rub. And oh, it's sweaty, isn't it? It's hard work though. And you rub. And you rub. Oh, I'm getting so hot. And you rub. Well, she continued like this for a good 10 minutes. Sweating and her arms were aching, but she carried on as fast as she could. And after about 10 minutes, Doug could see that the wood started to burn. He was amazed. The woman took some of the hot dust that was coming off the wood and she put that into a shell. She carried the shell over to an old dry bird's nest and then she blew on it. Doug couldn't believe his eyes. Oh my goodness me, old woman. Are you a witch? Oh no, I'm Verity Google. Here, look, I'll tell you what, you can have this lump of wood for free. Yeah, you can. And you can have this stick for free. It's been with me for many years, but here, you seem like a nice lad. There you go, you can have it for nothing. Well, Doug was absolutely amazed and so pleased and so grateful. He thanked the old lady endlessly. And then he carried the lump of wood and the stick all the way back to the Oogadugga cave. And when he got there, he was about 30 foot away. That's about the distance it is between you, the sofa, the window, the fridge, and the oven. That's about 30 foot. And he could see Oompa and Loompa, but they weren't waving at him. They were just looking at him like this. Well, he was very clever not to tread in the rabbit hole. And he was very clever not to trip over the root. And he didn't drop the log. He didn't drop the stick. And he said to Oompa and Loompa, "Daddy, Mummy, look at this. I've got fire. "No," said Oompa. "No," said Loompa. "No," said his brothers. "No," said his uncle and auntie. "No," said his granny and granddad. "No," said his next door neighbour. "No, silly boy, Doug. That not fire. That is wood. That is stick. Oh, silly Doug. No idea at all." But Doug said, "Hold on a minute. Just watch this." And Doug took the stick, put it over the wood, and he rubbed it as fast as he could, and sweat was pouring off his brow, and his arms began to ache, and he did this for a good 15 minutes, 5 minutes longer than the old woman because he was a novice at it, and he was rubbing and rubbing and rubbing like this, and eventually the piece of wood began to smoke, and he took some of the hot dust, and he put it into a shell, and he carried the shell over to an old, dry bird's nest, and he blew on it, and burst into flames. Everyone was astounded. Oompa jumped backwards, Loompa jumped backwards, Ugg and Bug jumped backwards, Unky and Punky jumped backwards, Ganky and Manky jumped backwards, Lanky bumped his head and went backwards. "Ow!" he said, and they looked at him in absolute disbelief. "Oh, good boy, Doug. Doug so clever, Doug so amazing, so proud of Doug. Brilliant, brilliant Doug." And although this had never ever happened before, they all burst into spontaneous song.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us, Megalosaurus, Megalosaurus even. Trying to do caveman jokes never works on film.
Anyway, from that day on, no one ever had to guard the fire at night time. No one ever had to eat uncooked earthworms or raw bark or snails in their shells ever again. Doug could paint whenever he wanted, and some of his paintings are still around to this very day. But it's up to you to go and find them. Anyway, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this story. And please, all of you, stay safe, stay healthy, look after each other. TTFN. Bye.